Hello everybody and welcome to the live reaction to Memphis Wrestling live on Beale Street in front of Ghost River, presented by Orion Federal Credit Union. That was episode 121. And welcome to my backyard. As you can see, it's a beautiful day in Memphis, Tennessee. It was a beautiful day last Saturday when we recorded Memphis Wrestling on Beale Street. And as you could see, for the first time ever, not only did Memphis Wrestling emanate from historic Beale Street, but it rained on us and the action had to continue, and the gun show and Van Vicious in the main event. Now there were other matches that had sprinkling, but definitely a big downpour in the main event. Let's talk all about it. The first time ever Memphis Wrestling hailing from Beale Street. First time ever for us to record our Memphis Wrestling television show outside of the WrestleCenter, other than top of the line banquet hall for those of you who've been watching since day one. But hello everybody, I am Dustin Starr. Let's talk all about it. I know there were a lot of questions in the live chat, and so let's talk about them here. I see Big Dan in the house. Unfortunately, Big Dan wasn't there live with us. You saw the people standing all over the place. Great turnout, even though there was a threat of rain throughout the day. And Memphis Wrestling, Ghost River, Orion Federal Credit Union, what a trio putting that show together. Eric, what's going on? Hello, Robert, how are you? Big Dan says, what a milestone and a historic event. Yeah, let's put that into perspective, Big Dan. There's only been a couple of events of professional wrestling on Beale Street, and if you go to Dana White Looking for a Fight on YouTube, you can see that myself and my Maria, we helped put on a show with Dana White outside of Jerry King Lawler's Hall of Fame Bar and Grill on Beale Street. It's got over 1 million views on YouTube. It's Dana White Looking for a Fight in Memphis. You can see me getting inside the squared circle with Matt Serra. You can see my Maria jumping on and attacking Dana White, the Dana White from UFC. So that was the other time that we wrestled on Beale Street. And then of course, Memphis Wrestling recording television on Beale Street. So this does not happen all the time. Not everybody gets approval to do a show on Beale Street. So it's a very, very special moment, and to have that scenery with the Home of the Blues sign, Beale Street, and to show you guys what our downtown is all about. And again, it was a beautiful day outside. We set up the ring at 8 a.m. and when I say it was a headache, let me tell you folks, it was a headache. There's a whole podcast that we can do about it, but at the end of the day, it was awesome and it was a ton of fun. So thanks to everybody that came out. Thank you guys for watching. Let me get caught up. Ben was there. He says, what's up, Dustin? Great show apart from the rain. Yeah, saw you out there. You were the only one to have an umbrella, it looked like. Oh my gosh. So all the audio and video people apparently did not, I mean, we knew there was a chance of rain, but I don't think anything was really planned for, because we thought we would get in and out before that rain hit. Anyways, there we go. Ben, good job on the umbrella. James says, that was a great episode, made me feel like I was there. And that was another thing, is we didn't take every single little edit point that we could have. You hear me at the end saying, let's go, because the rain was coming and you got to get that match in the ring. If Van Vicious or Gun Show wanted to leave the ring, then we would have figured something else out. I would have totally understood that. But big shout out to those two guys sticking through in the main event. And we also have some other matches from Beale Street. Mackenzie Morgan versus DDT. Also Austin Lane along with Nikki Lane going against DRACO Draco. So those are available exclusively for subscribers on MemphisWrestlingPlus.com, so you can check those out. But that's awesome, James. I really appreciate that. Steve says, is Danny Limelight versus Gun Show a title match or just UWN Championship? Steve, that's the fun part about Memphis Wrestling, is you have to watch every week. Danny Limelight says he's looking for the Gun Show when he gets here. Now, when Danny gets here and he calls out the Gun Show, I guess we'll see what's going to happen next. But it was awesome to see Danny Limelight in the United World Heavyweight Championship on Memphis Wrestling for the first time today. Lurvy says, hello, Dustin, marvelous episode. That's what makes a fine pro wrestling promotion, the community feel, and not a huge arena where the wrestlers can't be near the fans. Man, Lurvy, that's what it's all about, was that fan interaction. There's also going to be some never before seen photos from this event, not only from our photographer, J.D. Rieger, but then also from a Daryl Jackson Sr. He was on hand and was kind enough to share those photos too, and it shows a lot of what you're talking about the fans interacting with the wrestlers, the fan emotion. So it was very cool that Daryl caught a lot of the fan interaction as well as JD did. But a lot of good photos are going to be released on our Facebook page coming up here in the next couple of hours. Also, all those matches will be available in full on this YouTube channel. But good point there, Lurvy. I really appreciate that. Patrick says, hi, Dustin. Would you book Willie Mack? Yes, I've tried to book Willie Mack. Lurvy says, the Posse were on a rampage with the fans in that eatery. That was New Wing Order, which New Wing Order was one of our very first sponsors. Obviously, New Wing Order, NWO, it all kind of works together. So that was New Wing Order's 1-year anniversary inside Ghost River, so we were there to help celebrate it. And it was very cool. Jesse's one of the owners. He was the one delivering the food. The man with the white hair, that is Bob, the owner of Ghost River, helping throw the Posse out of that bar fight. And you could also see him enjoying the action around ringside, especially Bob. I think he took a couple of swipes at some of the guys. But fun segment from the Posse, even though they did almost beat up that old man. Willie says, hey, Dustin, great episode. I just wish that Cassandra Golden would have wrestled Nyx. Well, stay tuned. June 25th is our next television taping. And also, we have a couple, let's see, I'm trying to think of what it is next week. I can't remember exactly what the lineup is next week, but I know that on June 25th, we will have a full women's division. Jennifer Justice will be there, which is Sister Jennifer, the Memphis Wrestling Women's Champion, the Goddess of the Night. Nyx will be there. Nixie XS will be in the house. Cassandra Golden will be there. Mackenzie Morgan, and more. So women's division's loaded coming up June 25th. Now this weekend only, you can save 40%, especially if you're a dad. Use code word DAD at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com. At checkout, you'll save 40%. Now that deal ends Sunday night at midnight, which is Monday at midnight technically. Steve G. Dustin, love Maria in the control center. I hope you'll keep that. It's a great touch. Well, I appreciate that, Steve. It's always good to have my Maria on the television screen. But coming soon on the June 25th tapings, my Maria will be back at ringside at the desk calling the action. And she's over here in the pool next to me. But yes, my Maria will return to the broadcast position June 25th. William says, rain don't stop Memphis Wrestling. There's nothing that can stop Memphis Wrestling. Eric says, Beale Street and Pro Wrestling, that is Memphis to me. Oh yeah, big shout out to Orion Federal Credit Union for helping make that happen. And of course, Ghost River and New Wing Order for hosting us. Dennis says, we getting a Tim and Flex reunion? That would be the business dog. Let's talk about that for just a second as I sweat my butt off. Tim Grind did not mean to accept this challenge today from Tim Bosby. The boss says he's beating everybody in the locker room. Now he's giving the fans a chance to do it on Beale Street, which to me is really stupid. Last place you want to start a fight is on Beale Street or any kind of open challenge. He does, but he challenges Lance, who I think is like 15 years old or something like that. So anyways, Lance following in his father's footsteps, he steps up. Of course, Boz makes the attack. Tim gets in the match, and Tim actually pins the Boz 1, 2, 3. Can't even believe it. What a match. And then you saw the interaction, father and son, at the end of the episode saying, hey, this is how it works, Dad. So stay tuned to see if Tim Grind gets an opportunity at the Boz in his internet championship. Let me get caught back up here, guys. Yes, but hey, a Tim and Flex reunion, too cool too? That would be the business dog. Patrick Moore says, hi, Dustin, how do you feel about women tag team wrestling? I love women's tag team wrestling. Lurvy says, while the fans in the chat say their weekly fix is watching Ring of Honor, AEW, etc., mine is exploring the indies in the South, Memphis Wrestling included. I appreciate that, Lurvy. Robert says, Dustin, will you watch AEW Collision tonight? Yes, I will be watching AEW Collision tonight. We did a full podcast about the return of CM Punk. Again, that's at grindcitymedia.com/podcast, or you can find it right here on YouTube. But yes, I will be watching. Ronald says, happy Father's Day, Dustin. Thank you so much. Happy Father's Day to all the good ones out there. Z says the Posse might have gotten a bit too close and personal with the fans. Man, place was packed. If the fans decided to turn that much against the Posse, they were in deep trouble inside Ghost River. Lurvy says, happy Father's Day to Dustin Starr and all the proud fathers in Memphis and beyond. Thank you, Lurvy. I really appreciate that. Adam says, well, Dustin, today is a special Memphis Wrestling. Tonight is Collision on TNT. Next week, Forbidden Door at Dave & Buster's. I think you can confirm that happening. Yes, all of that is happening. Also, next Sunday, June 25th, the Pope is coming to Memphis Wrestling. Got to get those tickets right now. Destiny says, I recognize the background from Maria's hot mom summer tweet. So happy she's back in the studio. I miss her. Bravo. Destiny, it was so great to meet you and your husband at the show. Maria is incapacitated right now, or else she would give you a big holla. What? Are you not? You good? Thought you're over there sleeping. Destiny says hello. Huh? Oh, you should be on the live chat. Come over here. She's in a bikini, ladies and gentlemen. That would be the highest viewed live reaction in the history of Memphis Wrestling. Anyways, guys, I met Destiny and her husband in Hollywood, which you'll be able to see an interview between me and Peter Avalon tomorrow on Derby City Wrestling. But man, she brought us all kinds of gifts and protein and a card and so much more. So thank you so much, Destiny. We took pictures together. I don't even know if we posted those pictures yet, but I'll get those up on Twitter and everything. So big shout out to Destiny. Awesome. Arthur says, have you considered doing a cross promotion with another wrestling promotion? No, we haven't. That would be a mess, especially here in Memphis. Lurvy says, look at that backyard behind you, Dustin. Maybe you should have an outdoor wrestling event there. Yes, well, especially if we could have the weather that we're having today. Will the mighty Zaddies ever come to Memphis Wrestling? Man, I hope so. I'm a huge Che Cabrera and Bad Dude Tito fan. Bad Dude Tito's probably got the coolest nickname in history. Bad Dude Tito. Eric says, I bought my tickets for next weekend, 2 days before the 40% sale. Oh, no. Well, if you're coming back to see us, to see Dr. Tom Pritchard on July 16th, then you can go ahead and save 40% off of those tickets. So it's not all lost. Adam, watch party for Forbidden Door. Can you confirm that happening next week? Yes, it is on the schedule to happen, but stay tuned to our social media if anything changes. But yes, AEW watch party. Dave & Buster's. Greg says, Tim going to wrestle full-time perhaps? He looks strong. Yeah, Tim looks really good, Greg. Love the outdoor events. Those are a pain in the butt, but yes, they're very, very good. Lurvy says, Tim Grind doesn't look too old to wrestle. Let him challenge Boz for the internet belt. Adam says, should have make a title open challenge match for the internet title instead of non-title. Well, I think that was a little trickery pulled by the Boz. Also, you guys were saying to get rid of the referee. That's referee Cole Jackson, so you guys can send him a message. Get Rocco Bellagio to challenge Tim Bosby. Tim Grind looking good. I agree with that. Dustin tweeted me last night that there should be a watch party Dave & Buster's. Yes, Dave & Buster's. UW Inc. going to be on tomorrow. Yes, so United Wrestling Network tomorrow at noon is Championship Wrestling presented by CarShield. 1 hour of brand new action. And then immediately following that show is Derby City Wrestling, and the Pope will be on the show. Patrick says, hi, Dustin. Do you ever get time to watch the other United Wrestling Network show? Yes, I watch all of the United Wrestling Network programming. I'm the one that posted on YouTube. Eric says, I can't wait to see the Pope live, one of my favorites from TNA. I love the Pope. I will have a special exclusive interview with the Pope on Grind City Wrestling coming up this week. And I'm going to tell a story about the time that I was in the ring with the Pope live on SmackDown. It was he and Sylvester Terkay. So I'll tell that story to the Pope during our interview. Mark Posey, what's up? Mark says, what are you doing for Father's Day? I am in the backyard. I'm about to go pick up my boys. Reese is going to get up from his nap, and then we're going to hang out at the pool and hopefully have a couple of cold ones. Well, I'm going to have a couple of cold ones. I don't think Reese and Brady are quite old enough yet. Ben, have you watched Dark Side of the Ring? Loads of heavy material about different topics involving. Yes, I did watch last night Magnum TA. I found it very interesting that even after Magnum TA was in this crippling car accident, that he still had infidelity with his wife the very next week. I think that's what I got from that. Also, Chris Candido and Tammy Sitch. Oh my gosh, what a mess. So those were really good episodes. You guys got to check them out. I watched them on Vice TV's YouTube channel for free. William says, Dustin, do you want to break the internet? Too many. Let's break the internet. Yes, Championship Wrestling presented by Car Shield on tomorrow before Derby City Wrestling. Yes, that is Championship. Hollywood Wrestling first, Derby City second. Just saw Graham Family episode of Dark Side of the Ring. I remember, I believe it was one of the Grahams here recently, the last one to pass away. He took his own life, I believe. He used to come, I think it was Mike Graham. He used to come into FCW all the time. He was actually a guest trainer. Had little man syndrome worse than superstar Bill Dundee. Tim Grind and Flex reunite for a comeback of Too Cool 2. Could it happen? Man, I would love to see that. I still want Boz versus Gresham. Struggling tag team in WWE, look good at Memphis Wrestling. See, Dustin, will Game Changer Wrestling be invited to a cross promotion with Memphis Wrestling one day? I'm not sure. I would love to work with Game Changer Wrestling in Brett Lauderdale, but also one of the things that's coming up here in September is Impact Wrestling. Stay tuned. Impact Wrestling, September 22nd and September 23rd, coming to Graceland here in Memphis, Tennessee for Mid-South Mayhem. So I would keep my eyes peeled for some sort of cross promotion between Impact Wrestling and Memphis Wrestling coming up of some kind. So just stay tuned and you'll see it unravel. Sylvester Turkai, that's right. Eric says, do y'all have rights to any classic Memphis Wrestling footage? I don't think anybody has the rights to that footage. So yeah, we can use whatever we want. I believe I saw an episode involving Tammy and Chris Candido. It was heartbreaking. Yeah, definitely heartbreaking. How is Memphis title history coming along? Patrick, I've got the title history. It just has to be posted. Bo says, damn Sylvester Turkai. That's a throwback to middle school years. Yes, I wrestled Sylvester Turkai on SmackDown, and Elijah Burke was in his corner. Yes, Dustin, it was Mike. He was the last one to take his life. Yes, so Mike Graham would come in. He was a friend of Steve Kern, and of course they wrestled together in the Tampa area, but that's Mike Graham. Anyways, I am going to melt out here unless you guys have any other questions involving episode 121 emanating from Beale Street in front of Ghost River, presented by Orion Federal Credit Union. Lots of really good stuff. So that's exactly how the episode was supposed to come out, except for the rain. All right, everybody. Well, that's all the time I have. Eric says, thanks, Dustin. Can't wait to get Memphis Wrestling next week. Can't wait to see you guys. Be sure to come up and say hello. The VIP on the 25th starts at 12:30 in the afternoon. Bell time is 1:45. We're usually done by 4:15, 4:30. You can meet the Pope. I think one of the things that we're going to do new this time, Eric, is immediately following the television taping, as the people are leaving, there is going to be some sort of press conference or some sort of presser where we're going to be answering questions. So if you guys have questions immediately following, that's going to be content that's going to be exclusive for MemphisWrestlingPlus.com. So immediately following our live event on June 25th, there's going to be kind of like a media scrum. And if anybody has any good questions, we answer them. A couple of the wrestlers will stop in, stop out, boom, and then we get everybody out the door. It should be a good time. All right, Lurvy, thank you. Brittany Jenkins, what's up? Hope you guys are doing well out there. Danny Limelight's coming to Memphis Wrestling TV next week. Thank you, Lamb. I really appreciate it. Antonio, thanks, brother. William Stuke, stay cool. I'm already melting. All right, Ben says, see you next week. Can't wait for next weekend. All right, everybody, I am Dustin Starr saying, see you next week at bell time. Oh, yeah. It's so hot out here and the sun is so bright that I can't even see the buttons to push.